Hi guys. Well, can you believe Halloween's in 4 days? It's Sunday night, so yeah, this Thursday it's Halloween, and right now I'm trying to put together some boo bags for the grandkids and some friends' kids and the neighbors' kids. And as I'm doing this, I was reminded of a couple comments I received early on in my carnivore journey. I think I was about 6 weeks into it when I was interviewed by Dave Mack, and he was a great interviewer. It was so much fun. I really enjoyed it, and I got a lot of comments on that interview, and 99% of them were wonderful and very encouraging. But there was a few comments that kind of got under my skin, and they weren't necessarily rude, but it was just the way people said the things they said. And well, a couple of the comments were asking why was I still feeding my grandkids sugar. And it was like, well, for one, they're my grandkids. That's what grandparents do. But another comment was, why aren't my grandkids doing the carnivore diet? And I thought, well, because they're my grandkids, not my kids. I can't force them. That's their parents' job. But when they're with me, I can certainly um, try to show them, a better way of eating, and maybe I'll inspire them. They'll see that Nana's feeling better since she's cut out the sugar and the carbs, and maybe that will encourage them. But they're young. My grandkids are young and they're still growing. And I am not at that point in my journey where I am demonizing sugar at this point. I demonize the excessive use of it and the fact that they're putting it in foods that they do not need to put it in. But I don't necessarily think sugar is, poison. If you eat it in excess, yes, it is. But I think, like I've said million times before, I'm a foodie. I like food. I like sweets. I personally can't enjoy that anymore because I do have a sugar addiction. Not everybody does. Not everybody does. I see people all the time that can eat sugar in moderation or just go for long periods of time without it, and it doesn't bother them. I wasn't that way. Everybody has a different relationship with food. And like I said, as a grandparent, I can try and, guide my grandchildren. And with them, when I'm with them or they're here, I can help them make healthier choices. I'm not going to feed them tons of sugary foods anymore. As a matter of fact, they're always like, Nana, can we go through Dairy Queen? And I always say, no, Nana doesn't do that anymore. But I do still allow them to have certain things. I haven't totally restricted it, but I'm more careful for sure. I feel like it's important for me to do that. I want them to be healthy, but like I said, I'm not in charge of their diet. Only when they're with me can I do that. And I'm trying to help them make better choices as I'm trying to make better choices myself. So right now, it's Halloween, and I don't want to be the weirdo grandparent that gives my grandkids toothpaste and pennies. I'm sorry. That just doesn't appeal to me. I'm going to give them candy. They don't always eat all their candy. Most of my grandkids usually end up throwing most of it away. It's just the tradition of going trick or treating. And I don't want to take that away from them. It's fun. I am trying to make better choices for their boo bags. I've bought things like um, pretzels and glow sticks. So I'm trying to do better that way. I don't want to just load them up on candy, but don't I don't feel comfortable forcing that on anybody. I can just say, "Hey, this is how I feel about it." And like I said, I'm trying to make better choices for myself, and hopefully they'll see that, and it will make them think about it. But even when we have holidays here, my grandkids have always chosen the meat over any of the other dishes. Sometimes that's all they want is just the meat. Kids are like, it's like they're naturally carnivores. They love that stuff. So I'm not too concerned about that. None of my grandkids have any health issues right now. They're all very bright, very healthy, active children. So I'm not concerned about them um, eating too much sugar. I think their parents do watch that for the most part, because I've seen some kids that don't. I mean, their parents actually buy them soda and sugary cereals and stuff. My kids aren't like that. They're pretty good about what they feed their kids. A bigger concern that I see that a lot of them are having isn't necessarily with sugar, it's with the Takis and the hot Cheetos. That seems to be a huge trend with the kids nowadays. They just love those things. I've tried them and they're terrible and they're so hot. I can't handle that kind of stuff. But that seems to be an even bigger issue. So I don't know. I didn't know what to say at the time when people were saying, why doesn't she make her kids be carnivore? I was like, it just kind of took me aback because I was like, I'm just not in charge of their diet. I'm just barely learning how to do this myself. But I do appreciate what I think they were trying to say. If I believe that this is the proper human diet and this is the best way to be healthy, then yeah, I need to encourage them to do that as well. But like I said, that's their parents' job. I can only encourage them when they're with me, and it's hard. It's hard because they're my grandkids, and I do like to spoil them. But I want them to be healthy and make good decisions. But I feel that if I was to demonize any type of food, they're just going to want it that much more. And they'll end up going to their friends' houses for sleepovers and binging on that stuff if you're not careful. So I have to be careful how I talk about it and make them understand. But they're pretty bright kids. I don't think that's going to be too big of a problem. A lot of them do talk about health and trying to be more fit, and they're athletic, and it's important to them. My one granddaughter is really big into getting protein before she does her race or cross country and stuff, and so I feel like they're starting to learn, but I feel kind of guilty because it is Halloween and I'm looking at the table and the candy that I have, and I was like, okay, maybe I won't make as big of boo bags as I normally used to. Like I said, I found some healthy alternatives that I'm going to put in there, but I'm not going to be putting in toothpaste and that kind of stuff. Not that that's bad, but I know when I went to those houses and I got toothpaste and pennies, I threw them away. And I'm sure that's what my grandkids would do too. So I'm not wasting my money. I'm just going to give them, a few things. I just want them to have a good time. I want them to make memories. But I just don't understand how people can just force their beliefs because it's new. It's new to me. It's if I was a vegan or vegetarian, would people be telling me the same thing? You need to force your grandkids to do that until I know 100% that I know it's okay for kids. I have done some research, but they also say that kids need a certain amount of sugar, but they get sugar it's in spaghetti sauce and it's in cereal, even the ones that aren't supposed to be sweetened. There's sugar in everything. And I'm there's parents that think that they're not giving their kids sugar because they don't allow them to have sweets, ice cream or candy, but yet they're still feeding them foods that have hidden sugars in them because sugar goes under different names: sucralose, fructose, the corn syrup. They have all these new names for it so that you don't know that's what it is, and it shouldn't be in there. And it doesn't necessarily make the food taste sweet, but it just tastes better. So you have to be careful when you're feeding your kids, and don't think just because you don't allow your kids to have candy or soda or ice cream they're not getting any sugar. They still can be getting tons of sugar. So I think we all need to educate ourselves, and I'm trying to be better at that because I want to be healthy and I want my grandkids to be healthy and my kids to be healthy. It's important. But like I said, it just kind of, I just didn't know what to say to that when somebody was, demanding that I dictate my grandchildren's diet. I can only do that when they're with me. So, but anyway, I hope you guys all have a fun Halloween. I'm excited about it. I love dressing up. The kid in me still enjoys that. And I will be handing out candy to, all the trick-or-treaters. I'm not going to stop doing Halloween just because I'm a carnivore, and I'll probably still put a little bit of chocolate in the Christmas stockings, and I will still make birthday cakes at birthdays, but I'm still going to make healthier choices on the other days, and I hope to teach my grandchildren that kind of stuff as well. So anyway, I got to get to cracking on these. I want to get these made before I go to bed, and then I will talk to you guys in the next video. Take care, guys.